For 30 days straight, I scoured the entire internet for the best One Piece fun facts and secrets I could find. I went through each key anime twist did, scrolled through countless Reddit posts, and even included some I noticed myself. There are a total of 91 secrets I found, and I guarantee you didn't know some of these. For example, y'all know how Big Mom's goal was to have as many children as possible and also have at least one of every race. In order to achieve this, she obviously needed many different husbands. Did you ever wonder how exactly does she find them? I mean, she isn't really the prettiest pirate on the seas. Well, as you would guess, Big Mom doesn't play nice, and as soon as she sees someone whom she wants to have a child with, she just kidnaps them. Oh, also, after giving birth, she immediately kicks the husband out, forbidding him from ever seeing his children. But out of all of Big Mom's children, I never want to find myself near this one. Daifuku's devil fruit allows him to rub his stomach to summon a genie fighter. However, if he does it too many times, instead of a genie, a giant fart will come out instead. I guess it's one of the drawbacks of being the Minister of Beans. I'm guessing most of you already know that all of the admirals are named after a color and an animal. For example, Akainu means red dog, Kizaru means yellow monkey, and so on. But have you ever stopped to think who actually gave them these nicknames? Well, for some reason, the Marines have a whole division dedicated to assigning epithets to their fighters. The head of this division is Mizu Ketagari, whose name literally translates to wants to name, and we can't talk about fun facts without mentioning the legendary nicknames Luffy gives to characters. Some of those are Pigeon Guy, Cabbage, and Pineapple. But did you ever notice that even though he gives a nickname to every person he meets, he never gave any nicknames to his crewmates? The reason for this is very simple. You see, Luffy only gives nicknames to people because he doesn't care about them enough to learn their real names. But when they become a part of the crew, he will make sure to remember and use real names. So you know how Nami's dream is to draw a map of the entire world. But how exactly does she plan to do this? Does she plan to remember all of the places she's been to and then draw it from memory? Well, of course not. That would be impossible. Although we rarely see her draw on the show, Anime Twist actually revealed that every day after dinner, Nami draws a map of the area they sailed through that day without ever missing a day. Chopper mentioned a few times how he is not attracted to humans since he wasn't originally a human but a race deer. Due to this, many thought he would never find true love as there were no other reindeer like him. But then we're introduced to Milky Anzu, a reindeer mink. Chopper quickly fell in love with her and she became the only person in the world he wanted to date. After defeating Doflamingo Andres Rosa, many Straw Hat members' bounties were raised by 50 million berries, even though some of them didn't even participate in the fight. The reason behind this is that the Marines can't exactly tell who fought who and translated to numbers well, so they just add a flat amount to everyone's bounty. This happened again when most of the Straw Hats' bounties jumped by 300 million berries following the raid on Onigashima. Most of you probably noticed how the sea restaurant Karate got much bigger over time. We can clearly see how bigger it is in chapter 902. However, the thing most of you know about is that 2 more Baratie restaurants have been open since Sanji left. The first one is run by Patty and is an underwater restaurant. Wow. The second one is run by Carnes and looks a lot like the original Baratie, except it has a giant Sanji head in the front. Looks like Sanji's popularity as a pirate really boosted the business. I don't know about you guys, but I always wondered, what are these crackling things at the tips of Sweet Commander Cracker's hair? Well, in one of the SBS, Anime Twist was asked this exact question. His answer is ridiculous. As it turns out, when creating the character, Anime Twist had absolutely no idea what these crackling things were himself, but he kept them because he thought they looked cool. The first time Sanji's bounty was issued, his bounty photo was actually a drawing instead of a photo. Did you ever wonder why that is? Well, this happened because a certain someone forgot to remove the cap from the camera when taking Sanji's photo. That someone is attached who was the head of the Marines photography department, but was fired after forgetting to remove the cap from his camera on 56 other occasions. But I guarantee almost none of you noticed this little change Anime Twist made. You see, at the beginning of the show, we saw Shanks and his crew drink alcohol from beer mugs, same as many other pirates throughout really One Piece. However, sometime later, everyone started drinking from these barrel-looking mugs instead. Otto revealed that he actually made this change because he didn't want to imply that it was alcohol everyone was drinking since not all the characters are of drinking age, which is 20 in Japan. But we can also agree that barrel mugs look much cooler than the regular ones. So you all remember Inukama Land and In Between Floor in Impel Dan, where Ivankov led the prisoners. But did you ever wonder how is this space created and why don't the prison guard know about it? Well, you see, before he joined the Revolutionary Army, Morley, the commander of the West Division, was a nasty pirate. At some point due to his actions, he was imprisoned and impaled down, but escaped using his devil fruit that allows him to freely manipulate the ground. Many years later, Ivankov found this empty space by accident and turned it into Nakama Land. Also, despite both Morley and Ivankov being high-ranking officials of the Revolutionary Army, Ivankov still doesn't know that Morley is the one who dug up that space all the way back in Chapter 1. When Bandit Kaguma kicked down the bar's door, something weird happened. See, just a few pages later, that same door was magically fixed. How the heck did that happen? Well, while answering fans' questions, Anti-Twist revealed that it was fixed by a character called Monatomo. He's this short, grumpy-looking guy who just can't resist fixing broken stuff when he sees that. Jokes aside, it's obvious that Anime-Twist just forgot to draw a broken door, so he came up with this ridiculous explanation for it. Throughout the show, we saw a few times that inanimate objects can also eat devil fruits. Some examples are Spandam's sword, which ate elephant fruit, and Mr. Ford's bazooka, which ate Dakshun fruit. Although we don't know how these objects even ate devil fruits. There's another example of this that most of you probably missed in Sukiyaki's house in Wano. If you look closely, you can see a teapot that looks alive. This guy's name is Bambuku, and it ate the Inu no Mi model Tanuki, turning it into a live Tanuki. However, since it's now alive and can feel stuff, it can't be used to heat up tea anymore because hot tea will burn it. The transponder snails are weird creatures with a weird ability. They pretty much work like phones, but can also mimic the appearance of anyone who is speaking through them. However, the most interesting thing about them is that unlike phones, they are living beings and have emotions. So if a transponder snail is sleepy or hungry, it might not want to use its mimicking ability. Let's now cover a fact that only manga readers know. If you ever read One Piece, you probably noticed these cover panels at the beginning of each chapter. Well, when you combine these panels throughout multiple chapters, you'll actually get a whole mini-story. However, the most interesting thing is that the characters appearing in these mini-stories usually make an appearance in the main story later on. For example, in this cover story, after the citizens of Lulusha threw Ace into the river, he was saved by Moda, a girl selling milk. Several hundred chapters later, when Peachbeard attacked Lulutia, it was none other than Moda who defeated him. Did you ever want to know the backstory of this frog that was chilling on Usopp's head while he worked as a toad oil salesman? Probably not, but here it is anyway. His name is Gamma Pianisky, and one day while he was chilling, he saw a snake. He got scared and jumped on the first person he saw to get away from danger, which happened to be Usopp. And it's good he landed on Usopp because the moment Usopp saw the snake, he ran away at full speed. Pianosky then decided to stay on Usopp's head to avoid any more dangerous situations. Many people compare Doflamingo to Spider-Man, mainly because of their web-slinging abilities, but also because Doflamingo's glasses resemble Spider-Man's eyes a lot. However, when Anime-Twist was asked about this, he said that Spider-Man wasn't that in Japan until recently, and he actually took inspiration from a completely different character. That character is Kamen Rider Super One, and you can clearly see a resemblance when it comes to their eyes. You probably noticed how everyone who has eaten the devil fruit said that it tastes awful. However, when Momonosuke ate it, he wasn't really bothered by it, and the people of Ibisu even called it delicious. This is because they've all eaten the Smile Devil fruits, which Caesar managed to modify in order to get rid of the bad taste real devil fruits have. They now taste just like normal fruit. Due to One Piece having thousands and thousands of characters, Anime-Twist often takes inspiration when designing them. Some of those inspirations include admirals who are all based on famous Japanese actors, but there are also some lesser-known ones. For example, Shinobu, a retainer of the Kazuki family, was actually created to look like the famous Japanese comedian Naomi Watanabe. Although Kawamatsu looks like a kappa mainly because of his green-colored skin and beak-looking mouth, he is in fact not because kappa don't exist in the world of One Piece. But if he isn't a kappa, what is he? Well, Kawamatsu is actually a tiger puffer fishman. The reason he acts like a kappa is because his mother told him to do so he wouldn't be discriminated against by humans for being a fishman. Throughout the show, we saw a few characters who had abnormally large heads. Naturally, when seeing a bunch of big heads, you will ask the question, whose head is the biggest? Well, firstly, since Vegapunk shortened his head, he is disqualified, but otherwise, he would be the victor. Not counting him, the character with the biggest head in the entire One Piece is Vice Admiral Strawberry, whose head grows even more every time he gets sad. Big heads are cool, but you know what's even cooler? Pig noses. So who do you think has the biggest nose in the entire One Piece? Maybe USA? Well, you'll be surprised to hear that while Usopp's nose is 13 centimeters long, it's only the fourth longest nose in a show. Both Katarina, Devon, and Arlong have longer noses than Yusuf, while the person with the absolute longest nose is the Titanic Captain Vasco shot. Seems like Yusuf has a lot more lying to do if he plans on becoming the #1, but Anime Twist hid a little secret in chapter 977, but I'm honestly surprised anyone has managed to find it. Literally took me 10 minutes to find it, and I was purposely looking for it. This chapter starts off with Nami and a few other Straw Hats hugging Jinbei, and on the next page, hidden in the corner, you can see little Sanjay biting a handkerchief out of sadness and jealousy. Another tiny yet significant detail was hidden near the end of Sanji's battle against Queen. If you ever paid attention, you probably noticed that the eyebrows of Sanji's siblings look like 66, while Sanji's were always inverted since he didn't awaken the powers they did. However, when he finally awakened his abilities, his eyebrows reversed to look like 66 as well. After the battle had been concluded, Sanji's eyebrows had gone back to normal, meaning he can switch his Germa abilities on and off. He confirmed this in his fight against S-Shark when his eyebrows reversed again and suddenly Shark couldn't touch him.